when you're investing in things that you believe in and have done proper research, then you can stand in conviction, which just means you can stand in your power and not be swayed when the fear, euphoria goes back and forth, because it will. What's up, my friends? Welcome to the You Are the Rockstar Show, episode 7. This episode is called Cryptocurrency, and the most important thing I learned from investing. So thanks for joining me here today. I appreciate it. As always, we're going to drop in with a really quick meditation to get you connected with your breath, your mind, and your body. So wherever you are, find a moment of stillness to just relax. Let your shoulders melt away from your ears. Take a nice big breath in from your nose. Now let it out. Just relax. Let that air fall from your lips. Big breath in, fill up with air. Slower breath out as you relax, just a little bit more. One more time, biggest breath in you can. And slowly, completely relax as you let go. Awesome. If your eyes were closed, you can open them and just come back into this present moment. I like dropping in there. Makes everything feel more juicy and epic and just remind you how powerful you are. Ability to find peace right where you're at. So thanks for being here. I really appreciate you guys. I'm not going to keep you here for a long time. I like making these short and sweet. But this is episode 7, and I see 7s all over the place. I don't know if you guys believe in angel numbers. I love them. It's like I see them and then I look them up, and I think a lot of the meaning we derive from searching and looking things up as we see them is something we create, kind of like how we create the meaning in our life. I just love that kind of stuff, whether it's like pulling tarot cards or seeing spirit animals or numbers a lot. I always love looking them up on Google, and I encourage you to as well if you see them a lot, because you can always create some really cool reflections as if you're getting messages from either the other side or from somewhere else, maybe a higher power. And in celebration of this being episode 7, which has a lot to do with intuition and inner strength, I wanted to talk about cryptocurrency. Because as some of you may know, I wrote my second book. I released it last year, called Finding Your Financial Flow. And there's a chapter 9, that's called Digital Money. And it's all about cryptocurrency, kind of just the basic foundation, what I learned while deep diving into blockchain technology and different types of cryptos and what they do. Because a lot of them have really epic, what they call use cases, which just means that they have utility and they do cool stuff. And it can be a very overwhelming topic, especially because it's a very quickly changing environment and industry. I'm not going to dive into like what they are or blockchain or anything in this episode. So if that's why you're here, it's all good. You might want to find one of the many epic YouTube channels that I'll put some links to in the description below of my favorite YouTube channels who talk about cryptocurrency and things like that. But I want to talk to you guys about something I've learned while researching crypto and investing in crypto for the last 1.5 to 2 years. And that is emotions. So I had my mind blown when I started learning about this thing called the Fear and Greed Index. Yes, that's an actual thing. There's an actual index that measures the different markets, whether it's the stock market or whether it's crypto, and it will tell you if most people, which they say are retail investors, are operating from fear or greed. Now, why is that important? Well, we all know when you meditate, you learn a lot about watching your emotions, and you learn a lot about yourself from reflecting inward. So what I've learned while investing in crypto is that when things go up, and this is a general psychological human anomaly, I suppose, or human, weird thing about being human. When things go up in price, or when they seem hot, like a hot ticket item or something that's hard to get, or you have what's called FOMO, fear of missing out, then a lot of times we will buy things that are high priced. And that doesn't always lead to great investments, because the idea is to invest when people are in fear, so that this way, when they're in greed, you're not FOMOing to buy those things, if that makes sense. So again, I'm coming back to emotions. Again, we're not getting into like the nitty gritty side of crypto and investing and stuff. I just want to share with you what I learned and why meditation can be super important as you build financial wealth and abundance in your life. And the reason is because when you come to your breath and you take time to breathe, you start to watch your emotions, which is just energy in motion, and you observe it. So by observing it, you don't allow it to make you take action in the form of something that isn't level-headed. Meaning, if all of a sudden the price of something goes up a ton and everyone's talking about it, you fear that you're going to miss out. FOMO. And then you buy into something that might be really high, and then you might lose a lot of money. Whereas if you have a positive relationship with your emotions and the ability to watch them, this is very hard. This is not an easy thing to do, but with practice, if you have this, but I'll say like a callus, right? Because you've done it enough. And most of the time you'll have to fail quite a few times to get this callus, but it just means that you will have worked the muscle, right? Like learning a guitar riff, you get like the calluses on your fingers. You have worked it enough to understand that when you're feeling that fear of missing out, it's time to check in and not invest. And when you're feeling the fear like you need to get out of something, let's say it's like an investment or something in some form of money-making market, that's a time to check in. Is it really a time to be selling? Or is this a time, if you have the cash flow or the opportunity to buy, it could be. And again, I'm framing this in regards to the financial side of things because that's what I had to do in writing this book. I was thinking about it in my head and I was like, you know what? How is this going to be in my lane? You know, writing about money and finance. And I surrendered into it. I surrendered into the universal flow that I felt in my life at the time of becoming obsessed with learning about investments and learning about financial health, the awareness of abundance mindset and how to increase it. And that's what my book's all about. And so I'm framing this in the perspective of crypto investing because it's the most volatile market in the world. And it's the most epic opportunity to practice watching your emotions. And when we come and watch our emotions, then we become calloused, we become seasoned veterans, if you will, and not reactionary humans. We become humans that impose our will on a situation rather than acting emotionally. And I think that's really important for right now, especially when everything seems divided. You're either this or you're that. You're labeled this, you're labeled this other thing, you're labeled that thing. There's so many different ways to categorize people, create division, get emotional when somebody doesn't agree with you. This is a really great opportunity to practice observing the emotions. So if you're feeling really triggered at all in your life and you have a little bit of cash flow, maybe throw a little bit of money in the crypto market and then keep a journal of your emotions because it's going to tell you a lot about yourself. And if you don't know a lot about the market, you know, you could just watch it, maybe choose a couple, pretend like you invested in them, just track them for a few weeks or a few months, see how they do. But what I would encourage you to do is research them. And that's something that I learned also while researching my book, ironically, is that the investments you make that you believe in, you're way more likely to weather the storms of the FOMO and also the fear that something is going to zero than if you don't know anything about it, right? So like, let's say if you invest in something and you believe in it strongly, then if there is this crash or something goes wrong or something goes bad, there's a less likelihood that you're going to become emotional because you know and believe in what you've invested in. All I'm saying is that when you're investing in things that you believe in and have done proper research, then you can stand in conviction, which just means you can stand in your power and not be swayed when the fear, euphoria goes back and forth, because it will. Whether it's cryptocurrency or life, we're going to be tested with different emotions that make us feel like we made the wrong decision. and they're going to come from all different angles. So kind of want to just leave you guys with that right there. I don't want to get into the nitty gritty in regards to cryptocurrency and kind of that, like what to invest in, which ones I'm invested in. That can be a later thing. I don't really feel super called, to share investment advice because I'm not an investment advisor. And maybe I should have put that as a precursor at the beginning of this, but it's in my book. I put it in that at least, like it's not financial advice. It's legitimately advice to help grow your relationship more positively with money. And that comes with watching our emotions and being able to not allow them to be the dictating force of our actions. Because if we do that constantly, we're going to be chasing things, whether it's the carrot in front of the horse analogy or it's just operating from fear or euphoria. The general idea, of course, here when you talk about investing, especially in crypto, and why I'm telling and sharing more so with you about it, researching things that you are passionate about and believe in, is because when the fear takes over in regards to the fear and greed index, usually that's a good time to invest. But everyone's going to be talking crap, all over social media, all over mainstream media. Everyone's going to be talking crap on something. But that means you got to think for yourself and not allow other people to play with your emotions. Now, what tool do we use to allow ourselves to navigate that journey? Meditation, because it allows for the checking in time and time again of where we're at. If you want to keep a journal, that works great too, to be like, hey, today I felt this and I saw this. I consumed this kind of media and I feel like that. You just will start to create this awareness of where you're at and how you're impacted by external forces and how you react to them. Because the idea is that we're not reacting at all. It's that we're acting, so that we choose to act and can be in a flow state with what comes. And that is all practice with the breath, of course, tied to movement. But here, ironically, we're tying it to us making money. So I hope that provides value for you guys today. I know it was a little bit different. I struggled mentally when I was writing this book because I thought it wasn't on topic for my brand. And then once I started learning that this connection with abundance mindset and this connection with our emotions and financial health all actually has to do with mental health and where we're at and how we all deserve to be rock stars of our own lives, not just living our dreams, but achieving them in a financial sense, living in abundance, however that looks like for you. I realized that I had to write that book. And it was a culmination of all the stuff I've been learning, over my few decades on the planet. So I hope that the book provides value for you guys. The hardcover it should be available right now on Amazon. I'm really excited about it. It took me a hot minute to get it up there. But I got hardcover copies of both my books. You can check the links in the description. But definitely sign up for my newsletter if you can. You can do that on my website, just woodywoodrow.com. I send out good vibes each week and just keep you updated with what's going on. You can also check out both of my books on Amazon, and I have audiobooks as well if you choose to consume content that way. But just to recap, if you're feeling emotional or divided or separated or just any sort of way, just remember it's going to pass. You don't have to take action always when you feel euphoric. You don't have to take action always when you feel super shitty. You have the opportunity to be still, always, and breathe. And in doing that repeatedly, you're going to have a profound awareness. You might even experience euphoria in the present moment rather than operating from greed, which greed and euphoria kind of go hand in hand, at least in regards to crypto. But you might find a really deep relationship starts to be cultivated with yourself. And you might start to stand in your power. You might start to stand more in conviction of who you are, being like, nah, I know this emotion. It doesn't feel good. And I'm not going to act right now because it's not healthy for me, whether that's euphoric or from fear. So think about it. But at this point in life, I don't really believe, and I don't mean like in life like in a sense of like where you're at. I just mean with where everything's at in general, with the world evolving, the vibration of the planet lifting, meditation at this point is non-negotiable. So I used to be telling people, not everyone's going to do yoga, not everyone's going to meditate. Totally understand. Not everyone's going to do yoga. That's fine. You guys all know that you can find what I consider yoga in most active things that you do, whether it's biking, running. You attach your breath to that, create your flow state, try and practice it with ease so that brings it into other areas of your life. But at this point, meditation's non-negotiable. The amount of stuff that we're consuming, that we're allowing into our subconscious mind without checking it at the gate, is becoming ridiculous. And our inability to hold space and share love unconditionally for people who have different opinions than ours is ridiculous right now, that we don't have the ability to hold that space. So we all should be meditating in some form. I don't necessarily care what form that is, but if you don't meditate, I strongly encourage you to find a practice that allows you to create self-reflection in your life. If you're interested in that, message me and I can share some links with you of some meditations that either I've done or have been doing, or some people that I've really enjoyed following who have been amazing guides for me. I would be happy to share them with you. But at this point, it is non-negotiable for us to be checking in with ourselves on the regular. This means daily practices, whether in the morning, afternoon, night, all three, one of the three, I don't know, whatever works for you. But at this point, because the benefits totally outweigh any costs, because meditation's free, you're breathing, you're already doing it always, and the benefits are legitimately anything you can think of. Legitimately, try me, anything. It benefits any area of your life, because how you do one thing is how you do most things. And when the relationship with you inside is positive, then the interactions you have with the world become more positive, because everything is a reflection of us. So if we don't have the space to be able to have a conversation with someone who disagrees with us, then that is a reflection of us, not a reflection of them. And if we want to label people and cancel them or ruin them or end them because we disagree with them, then that is a reflection of our own insecurity and our own inability to come from unconditional love, to hold space and see someone as a reflection of who we are. That's my opinion, but I stand in that conviction. And I really believe that it's something we should all be doing, because I know how much of a benefit it can bring into your life. So thanks for listening to me get kind of intense real quick. I don't usually do that, but I feel like right now we really all need to stand in our power. And one way we can do that is with meditation. And if you want to really check your emotions, throw a couple $100 in the crypto market and then keep a journal. Because that's a great way to check in with yourself and to see where you're at on an emotional scale. You'll also learn a ton about investing. So I'll let you guys go after that one. This is a little bit longer than normal, but I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Working to get these out on the regular for you guys. So I really appreciate you being here. If you get a chance, subscribe to my channel, give me a like. And if you want, reach out to me if you got questions. But I love you all. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Talk to you soon. Peace.